Hey everybody, this is Tim Charron, and welcome to my brand new podcast called The CHARRON ZONE. Blah, 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 blah. Download your free guide to booking gigs at howtobookgigs.com. Welcome to The CHARRON ZONE. I am here with my good friend Markos Papadatos. How are you today?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, my pleasure. It's been a long time in the making, so I'm really excited that you're here. And I'll go over a few things that you do that everybody should know. So you are the power journalist, and
yes,
you are celebrating. I think it was just a day or two ago, right? Your 14th year anniversary as a journalist.
14 years. Yes, correct.
Congrats.
Thank you so much.
And you have 12,805 and counting articles published.
Yes, sir.
Right? And so I just recently learned this, but you wrote a book. So
yes, I co-authored a book. I co-authored a book called Manifesting Your Dreams. I had a chapter in there, and it went number one on Amazon in 3 sections.
Whoa. So number one best-selling Amazon bookseller now. Damn.
Yes, it was so awesome. And recently, it got featured in Oprah magazine.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
That's impressive. So, how would you encapsulate your contribution? What is it about?
I spoke about how I got my start, how I overcame journalistic adversity, especially living in New York, where country music was taboo back in the day, especially in high school. So I just had to be country when country wasn't cool.
Right on.
Thank God for college, because they embraced my writing, and then the rest is history. And then I kept a track record, and then once I kept a portfolio of my work, then more and more people were interested in what I was doing, and then I just branched on into the digital world.
Wow, that's a lesson for really everybody, and of course, a lot of people that listen and watch my podcast are aspiring musicians and everything.
Yes.
So that's really a great lesson for anybody and everybody. Like, sometimes when you have a passion for something, you do it and it's not cool at first, and you gotta you have to make your own way and just power through that. Power journalist, power through that. And then the world kind of, when you do something with strong enough conviction, the world then seems to all of a sudden at a certain point kind of come around you and embrace it. When at first they're like, we don't get it,
Yeah.
So way to persevere. That's very impressive.
Thank you. It was, I wouldn't change anything. So I'm glad everything worked out the way it did.
Excellent. So, and what's the name of the book?
Oh, Manifesting Your Dreams.
Okay, you said that before. Manifesting Your Dreams. I love it. I'm a big fan already. I'm going to get it, and I'm definitely going to read it. I'm a book freak. In my office and in my bedroom, I have way too many books.
I'll email you a copy.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I would really appreciate it. And where can everybody find that?
They can find it on Amazon or on Kindle. Yeah, on Amazon. Yeah, Manifesting Your Dreams.
Okay, awesome. Very cool. So we're going to go right into the juicy part. We're going to go into the really interesting parts of all of your interviews. Out of all of your interviews, I mean, I'm not just saying this because I'm the host of the show, but I know that your very favorite person to interview was me.
It was, and Bret Michaels, you two go together.
All right, I'm kidding around, but I did want to ask you about your favorite interviewer interviews. So if you could let us know, and thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I always ask him about you because I love the mutual respect you have for each other. So out of my 5 favorite, I would say Bret Michaels, because I love the work he does for with the Diabetes Foundation, raising awareness, and he's he has the biggest heart in music. That's why I'm trying to get him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year.
Oh, nice.
That's a big goal for him and Poison.
he's the nicest dude ever.
Ever.
Like
yeah.
he goes way out of his way to be. I'm actually getting goosebumps under my leather jacket thinking about it. He really does. Like it's very impressive, and I.
And what he does for the war veterans, and I remember the close relationship he had with his dad. That's like so inspiring.
Oh yeah, and it's inspiring just watching. Like I try to take as much as I can from all the all the national acts that I meet, all of these incredible people that I get to meet and I get to work with. I try to take lessons from them, whether they're good or bad. And Brett is the one that I always like talk about and think back to of how to treat people. He's so great at making everybody he comes into contact with feel like they're important, and he listens to people, and he's just so gracious. So
yeah, I agree. And all the work he does on stage, he has the energy of a 20-year-old. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh my God, it's like he's like a different person. It's like, wow.
Yeah, very impressive. Who else are your favorite interviews? I mean, you've done so many.
Yes, but he's one of them for sure. And then also the lead singer of Imagine Dragons, Dan Reynolds. Mm-hmm. Because he does a lot of work with the Tyler Robinson Foundation. And
tell us, what is that?
I know it was one of his fans. I think it also has to do with like I believe cancer and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And he also does the Love Loud Foundation every year. He does Love Loud Festival for the LGBTQ community to help them feel like loved, because he came from like a Mormon background, and he fights for human rights. And I love their music.
Yeah.
And Imagine Dragons, everything they do is a hit.
Yep.
And he's the nicest guy in the world, Dan Reynolds.
Awesome.
So very similar. He's tied with Bret Michaels in like the singers department. That's my two favorites.
Yeah, just to jump in, a quick story. I years ago, I had the opportunity to hang out with. I used to be a personal trainer, and I was Michael Stipe from REM. I was his trainer for a while, and he invited me to a Christmas party in New York, and I went, and it was me, Michael, and I ended up hanging out for like the second half of the whole night, so for maybe like 4 hours with Bono from U2.
Oh, nice, U2. Nice.
Yeah, and he's another guy. Like there's a common thread where, in particular, Bono made me feel like I was an international rock star. He just has that way about him, just like Brett. And it seems like all these people kind of have the same thing, that people seem to gravitate towards them because they make people feel good, and they make people feel heard, and they make people feel important, even though they're usually the important one in the scenario. So.
And I'm a big fan of Magic, so my biggest hero is Chris Angel.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So,
nice. So how was interviewing him?
It's funny. It's great because he was the reason why I wrote the book. Because in college, I'll tell you the story. This is how it happened. One of my college professors, as an icebreaker in graduate school, told me to write down 2 truths and a lie about yourself. So I just wrote 3 people that I interviewed. 2 were like relatively unknown. Then I put Chris Angel's name down. And then people had to guess which one was the truth and which one was the lie. And then when they read my thing, everybody laughed because, back then Mind Freak was really popular on like A&E. And then the whole class laughed at me. I'm like, they're like, the professor's like, okay, Markos, I said 2 truths and a lie, not 2 truths and a dream. And I was like, what? And at that moment, that like sparked my fire. So 3 to 5 years later, I actually got Chris Angel for an interview. I don't know, it felt like validated.
That is awesome. So that really fueled you to get that
actually
interview.
Get him, even though we're both Greek. And it's funny, we both grew up on Long Island. We're both Greek, and I always loved him. Like it was never about how he does the magic; it's about the way he presents it and how fast he does it. Yeah. Like remember the metamorphosis and the teleportation and all that stuff that he does. It was just literally like blew my mind freaked. Yeah. So it was like the coolest, and he is also the nicest guy in the world. and what he does with his son and the Leukemia Foundation and pediatric cancer is like, he's the coolest guy in the world.
That's awesome. That's
why I follow him everywhere. Whenever he comes, like, you know, like Connecticut, New York, Long Island, New Jersey, I'm like his biggest fan.
That's so cool. That's amazing. You know, that all those years before you literally, like, you know, I'm very big into, and not to go too crazy with it, but I'm very big into visualizing things. And it seems like that's exactly what you did. You literally, like, put it on paper, so to speak, in the class, and said, you know, this is somebody that I want to interview or work with, and then you literally made it happen. That's awesome.
I know, sure. Not only that, I think I lost track how many times I've interviewed him ever since. Seems like every time he has like something big happening, he comes to me, which is nice.
That is so cool. That's amazing. And then, like, these years later, you know, like you said, 14 years
to be an overnight. It took me 14 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Isn't it incredible though? Like, to think from where where our, you know, like, dreams started, and you have these goals of these people that you want to work with, and then all these years later, you have, like, relationships with the people that you looked up to. It's so cool.
So great.
It's amazing.
Like we're admirers of each other's work. It's like we're fans of each other. It's like we recognize each other's talent. It's so humbling. It's so great.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my favorite part. Okay. Your least favorite interviews that you've ever done. Do you have any of those?
Sebastian Bach. Oh my God. I don't know what he was on that night when I interviewed him over the phone. It was like,
oh,
really?
Please tell me how this went, because this is very interesting to me.
It was a train wreck from the first time, from when it first started. Like, he had a show in the area. He was promoting. I don't remember if it was a new book or new music, and then it just he was in, like, his own little world. He felt like he wasn't even there. At one point, he had to, like, he's like, oh, I need my effing coffee. Then he hung up on me, and he had to call me later, and then it was just as bad. And it was at a time when he had just gotten divorced, and that affected every answer. So even I asked, what does the word success mean to you? His answer was, beautiful women, lots of beautiful women. And then he hung up the phone. Oh my God.
He's like an aging teenager.
Yeah. It was like, really? You're still stuck in that mindset?
Wow.
It's bad. It was like pulling teeth. I'm like, just to get like a sentence, I had to like keep like prompting him to like get what we were trying to promote.
Oh my God. And so he literally like said, I need to get coffee, and hung up on you, and then...
Because he was like, I don't know, I don't know if he was drunk for that or whatever. It was so bad. It was like, I mean, every person was like, huh? I guess he just woke up at that moment.
Oh my God.
It was like 4 p.m, so New York time. So yeah.
Well, I've got this. You know, like I was telling you before we started rolling. I went through this period where I was like literally Googling Sebastian Bach on YouTube to watch some of the videos, like Sebastian Bach being a jerk, and it's just fascinating. It's like watching a train wreck. It
is absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have any other great stories of people that were your least favorite interview?
That one really sticks out. I'm trying to think the least. Not so many, because now if they're least, I just cut them off myself. I don't have to deal with it. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Nice.
But, you know, because they need the press more than I do. I always have like 5 to 10 a day to deal with the biz.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I do 5 to 10 interviews a day all year long. So one less doesn't hurt me. It gives me a chance to breathe.
Yeah.
So I'd rather it be bad once in a while. It gives me a break.
It's nice to be in that position.
Oh yeah.
Cool. So what I'd like to do is ask you your advice for aspiring journalists out there that want to do what Markos, the power journalist, does?
Start early is my biggest advice. I started at 19 in college, and because I even tried in high school and it just didn't work. But keep writing, get your foot in the door. Now it's so easy in the digital age. Online, you can like make your own blog. You can have your own platform.
You can even be a ding dong like me and have your own podcast and interview the power journalist.
It levels the playing field for everyone. The digital. That's what makes it so great. There's no gatekeepers anymore.
Exactly.
Look, like Billie Eilish and all these big music, like Martin Garrix, they all start in their bedrooms.
Yep.
They're like, they put it on iTunes and Spotify, then their songs catapulted them to global fame. It's incredible.
I was just going to say, it seems like journalism is very similar to being a musician and recording artist, because like you said, and the internet basically has gotten rid of the gatekeepers. We all have the power to do it ourselves, which is kind of crazy. You know, I hear, because I have my course and I teach, how to book gigs and how to really explode your independent music career. And you just hear all these excuses from people, reasons why they can't do this or that or this or that. And it's all BS, because we all have the same tools now.
Yeah.
It's all the playing field is level. The gatekeepers can't even keep the gates. It's wide open. And so what you did and what you're saying is, if you want to be a journalist or if you want to be a rock star, you can do it.
Of course.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, literally, if you wanted to be a journalist, all you need is at this point, all you need is Skype, right? Yeah. And you can interview people.
And your Olympus recorder, which I've been using for like forever.
Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
Then I just plug it in my computer, and then I just transcribe.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've got my little.
Oh, and my biggest secret, in every article, I've always written my conclusion first, and then the article just writes itself.
Oh, that is a great tip. That is just like songwriting. That's what I always write the title first.
Visualize the end in mind, and then it's how you got there, and it saves you 5 to 10 minutes every article.
So you write the conclusion first.
First. Yeah, like I write the verdict in every review, and then I just write what happened to get there. Then boom.
That's brilliant.
Next. Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's funny because recently I interviewed Chaz Commentary, and he does it the same way. I'm like, oh, I write the same way, so it's nice that I'm not alone. When he wrote like The Bronx Tale and all those, the big plays and stories, I'm like, oh, I could like really relate to him. I'm like, wow, this is really awesome. That's
super cool. That is great advice. Anything else you would tell an aspiring journalist?
Work hard, maintain a portfolio of your work, because when you show it to the public to get the interview, give them reason to listen to you.
Like show them what you've done.
Like if you want to get an interview with Tim Cerrone, prove that you're a fan. Like show them a review of his single or his concert or his album. Give them reason to want to talk to you. They're not just gonna give you the red carpet right away. Like you have to give them a reason to listen to. Show them you're reliable, and then now they come after you. By the time I start talking to you, we'll have 2-3 lined up for you.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's how it works. It's like you help them, they'll help you times 10, because they benefit from good. Everybody benefits from a good story.
Right.
The fans are happy, the artists are happy, I'm happy, and the management and PR team. So then you have like 500 publicists begging you for new Music Friday requests tomorrow.
Well, phenomenal advice. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on. I really appreciate it.
I also wanted to say another favorite one of mine. It was Caleb Dressel, being a Florida. Since you guys are in Florida, he's a Florida Gator, and he's the fastest swimmer in the world. He broke Michael Phelps' world record in August, and he was an amazing interview. And he's the one to watch this summer in Tokyo. I think he's going to win lots and lots of gold medals for Team USA.
Excellent.
In the butterfly, this is the hardest stroke, I think. That and freestyle.
And that's Caleb Dressel.
Yeah, he's a Florida Gator.
Nice.
And that's why what I liked about him, we spoke also about the USA Swimming Foundation and how it works to promote water safety and drowning prevention, because him growing up in Florida, I mean, it hits home to him because swimming is like a life skill.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like a way to preventable death can be prevented. It's so inspiring.
Yeah, when my cousins were young, they were living in Lauderdale, and one of my young cousins ended up in the pool, and thankfully they had she had already learned to swim, because I mean she was really young, like 5.
Wow.
And it could have been a disaster. So that's extremely important. Well, cool. Let me know. Let everybody listening and watching know where they can find you and check out your work, and definitely go check out the book and get the book.
Yeah, you could check out my work on digitaljournal.com, and they could follow me on Twitter @PowerJournalist. One word.
Power Journalist.
Yeah, best of Long Island.
I love it. Awesome. Markos, thank you again, man. It's a pleasure to speak with you, and thank you.
You're one of my favorites.
Thank you. Thank you for all the great coverage throughout the years.
Country with a twist of line.
Yeah, man. I love it.
I love it.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, so one more time, just so everybody knows where to find you and your work.
Power Journalist on Twitter, one word, and digitaljournal.com. I do all the music, entertainment, and sports stories.
Excellent. All right. Ciao, everybody. Thank you very much for watching and listening to the CHARRON Zone.